Yeah, man, I say give thanks to bobartstv. Asta Black in the place, I cover the view of the birth. 128, 128 of the Divine Majesty. Big up Tika in the place, big up all of the youth and youth them in the place. Respect to this day and Iowa. You know, see it, so I say glory to sound and glory to words. Glory be unto the highly one of iration from that time, this time, and forevermore. Highly high! Yeah! That's all!
His Majesty's father to my appointment to the governorship of Harar, 1906 to 1910. Whatever may befall a man in this world, there is no one who concludes his days entirely in joy or in grief, but pleasure and sadness occur alternately in their turn. Hence, all my thoughts were floating in a sea of distress as my father, who loved me dearly and was so fond of me, fell gravely ill. H.H., my father departed from his city of Harar to go up to Addis Ababa on the 4th Ter in 1898. At that time, he felt a little unwell, but on the 9th of Ter, aka January 17th, he camped by the Barak River, and after having spent the day celebrating the Temquat festival there, he went back because the illness took a stronger grip on him and entered his second city called Kalubi, where he began to be treated by a doctor. At this time, my father summoned me in his desire to see me. I went up to Kalubi. When I entered his bedroom to see his condition, he saw me standing by his side. He motioned me with his eyes to sit down, since it was difficult for him to speak with his tongue on account of the severity of his illness. As I was convinced that it was his wish that I was not to part from him, I spent the whole day sitting by his side. But the hour of judgment by death decided upon by the power of God cannot be postponed, even by the love of many, let alone by the love of one father and son. Thus, sadly, he died at Kelabi on the 13th of Magabit 1898, and was buried in the church of St. Michael, which he himself had founded in Harar. After this, my father's officers and troops assembled in full. As on one hand, my father had said to them during his lifetime, I command you to my son Tafari. And since, in the second place, they were aware of my father's loyalty to the Emperor Menelik and his diligent services to the government, they expressed the hope that he, the Emperor himself, would not fail to give him Tafari, his father's governorate of Haraj. After they had concluded their consultation, saying, we shall go up to Addis Ababa following the memorial service, customary of 40 days, a letter reached the officers of Emperor Menelik stating, come at once with Tafari his son, for it is before me at Addis Ababa that the lamentations of Ras Makonnen's 40-day mourning are to be held. While my father was still alive, he had prepared a present intended to be sent to the Emperor Menelik, and since it was an object he had put aside, he took it with us. And when we departed from Harar on the 3rd of Miaiza, 10th of April, and set out on different adventures across Ethiopia, our journey to Addis Ababa. As many people died on us during this trip, grief was heaped upon grief. The reason was that the small rainy season was active, and that because of the multitude of the army, malaria spread our camp. On the 19th of Miaiza, we reached Addis Ababa. Emperor Menelik had given orders that tents be pitched, sewn together like a hanger, on the vast field at which he gave a memorial banquet for my father, and there he caused the officers and troops to assemble. With the lamentations proceeded, with the arrival station at one side and hosts mustered on the other, we were gathered with Emperor Menelik in a great mourning. So, based on what I have read so far, he was very important as his father depended on him a lot to take care of his nation and to make sure that the troops themselves would take care of them with him. So even though not his father alone depended on him, His whole entire nation loved him dearly, and when his father died, they felt a lot of grief, but they still had hope because they knew that the new king would still be there to provide and take care of them for him. Thank you.
Aye. Yeah, man, give a round of applause, man, to the sister, man. Yeah, man, brilliant, man, brilliant. Yeah, man, give thanks, you know. Yeah, man. You don't sound like the item just stop a while. Yeah, man. Now you don't know, you know, man. You have to give the encouragement there. Because we see say it's worthy, you know. And so much things to say, but you two know with the time schedules and things, you know. So we know we have the presentation of I artists, and we have said big up WhatAapp. So you know the thing gone broad and large, you know, because WhatAapp is here, the Rastafari media, the control I media out here, you know. And we say big up thinker, big up all of the ones and ones in the place. I'm more in the place, I cross, Naya being the other chanter, you know. So I don't know if we're brethren, I'm more ready. We are bagger in the place and ones in the place to give them presentation to the king, you know.